You've automated lead generation for your business, but have you really calculated how much does one lead really cost you and your business? And is it really cheaper than hiring a real human being? Well, in my previous video, I broke down a framework on calculating how much does one execution of your AI automation will really cost you. So we'll be using the same framework to calculate how much is one lead costing when I run this AI automation for lead generations. Here's a quick refresher. The cost per execution of any AI automation can be calculated using 5 different parameters. And these usually are triggers, API cost, LLM tokens, then we have AI infrastructure cost, and fifth, we have action cost. When we sum all these things together, we can calculate how much does one execution of this AI automation really cost. And while dividing this by the number of leads we are getting, we will be able to calculate how much does one lead really cost using this AI automation. If you haven't seen that video yet, I'll link it down below and it will give you the full context. Now let's get started. In the last video, we basically discussed how you can calculate AI automation cost per execution. And the first step was clustering the entire AI automation into these 4 segments: trigger, API calls, AI agents, and actions. When we have done that, then we can simply calculate the cost per execution by using this simple formula. This formula simply says that we have to add the cost of trigger with the cost of API calls with the cost of AI agents alongside the cost of actions. When we have done that, we also have to add orchestration cost. So these are the infrastructure cost, things like N10, Make.com, Zapier, and any infrastructure that you're using will basically rely over this entire orchestration cost. All right, so in the next part of the video, we'll be trying to understand how this entire lead generation automation really works, and we'll be segmenting that entire automation into these 4 segments. When we've done that, then we will use the formula to calculate how much does one lead really cost, and then we can compare, is it really cheaper than hiring a real human being, or should we really continue using that AI automation? All right, let's move forward. All right, so this is the entire lead generation automation, and it basically has first a few triggers, then we have LinkedIn scraping, Apollo scraping, and then of course we are adding everything to our Airtable database, and then we are merging the entire thing to send it over into our DB. That's the entire goal of this entire automation. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make a copy of this thing, and then we can start. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna create a duplicate of this, and I'm going to put it in an empty space. Perfect. So our goal to understand that AI automation is, first we understand the logic of this entire AI automation, and then we'll be putting out these nodes, each and every node, into these 4 segments. And then of course we'll be calculating the entire cost by summing everything up. So let's first understand how this AI automation really work. Okay, so there's a manual trigger. We have all the API keys setting up here. Then we are going into this database. This database basically has a few variables, which I'm just going to show you. So this is the entire DB that we're using. I'm just going to go on settings tab. And in this, you can see that we have this entire brand information. So this is what we are fetching right over here. And then we have the list of keywords. So the goal is that we use the brand information, and then this AI agent node will convert this brand information to a set of short tail keywords, which will be then searching on LinkedIn, on Apollo, to fetch out the right and accurate leads for the entire business. Right. So this is a very smart approach to actually get out the right leads and target the right ICP for your business. And we are using the same formula. Then what we do is we split all the keywords out and we run a loop over it. So we'll be looping over each and every keyword, but one by one. And then we have these 2 scrapers, LinkedIn scraper as well as Apollo scraper. If you just read this entire thing, you'll be able to understand how this entire AI automation works. Feel free to do it by pausing the entire video and watching this. But what I'm going to do is, of course, I'm just going to search that keyword into this LinkedIn API call, add a few fields in this, and then I'm going to run that actor in the API node. So that actor is going to, of course, take some time, a few seconds, and I'm checking the actor status in this loop. When the actor really is successful, it moves forward and scrapes all the information from that API actor. So now what really happens is we have a list of keyword. One keyword goes over here. This keyword will give us, for example, 10 or 15 companies that are really perfect for my ICPs. So I'm just going to gather the list from this API node and I'm going to run over it. So I'm going to scrape each and every company's information now. So I have this company data. For example, I have 10 or 15 companies here. I'm just going to run a loop over here and one by one, I'm going to extract the data for that each company. So you can see that I'm calling another API actor that uses the company URL and it will scrape the company data, what is all there in their LinkedIn page and everything. And then, of course, we run this actor in the loop. We check the status as soon as API completes the task. We are going to combine everything into this AI analysis tool, and we are using Claude for it. Simultaneously, we are also gathering company details from LinkedIn page. We extract company page here, and we extract company details here. Then we run this AI agent, which will analyze the entire business, and it will give us a summary of that entire business. Then we are doing this Airtable search. Do we already have that company in our DB or not? If we have, then there is no point of adding that anymore. But if we don't, then we can move on and add that lead. Now, if we don't have a duplicate, then we simply insert it into our DB. And of course, every company has a website. If we do get a website from the LinkedIn search, we're going to call another sub workflow that we can talk about in the next part. All right, so this is all for the LinkedIn scraper. Then we have this Apollo API scraper. So in this Apollo API scraper, it actually runs very similarly. What we're doing is we are searching on Apollo. We're going to get a lot of leads from there. And for each and every lead that we're getting, we are running that loop. So for example, we get 500 leads from Apollo for that exact keyword. We run that loop for each and every user. When we get that entire Apollo data, we basically create a summary using this AI agent node. We of course add a few fields and then we add this to our Airtable database. That's the only thing that we're doing. And by the end of it, we're just merging it and sending it over to the next loop. So this is how this lead generation AI automation is actually working. Now let's try to segment this entire automation into the 4 parameters that we have already discussed, right? So let's start from the beginning again. If I say trigger, we have a manual trigger. If I say API calls, of course, we're making a lot of API calls here. All right, so we have done with the trigger. Now let's move on. This get keywords node is an AI agent node. So we are calling an LLM right here. So I'm just going to put this into our LLM tokens into this AI agent segment. So this is get keywords. Okay. Moving on, we run this loop. There is no cost for this Airtable API call because it is totally free. Then split out node, it does not have a cost. Loop, it does not have a cost. Then we move on to our LinkedIn search request. This does have a cost. So I'm just going to go here and I'm just going to add it over this API calls. Okay. Now we move on to the next part. We have this edit fields. This is totally free. Checking actor status. This is an API that we're doing on API, but it is also totally free. Then we have fetching the company list. Of course, running that actor and fetching the list is exactly the same thing. So we don't have to add another cost for it. Rather, we have already considered it in this particular segment. All right. So next we have loop over items. So looping is totally free. It comes with part of an N10. Then we have checking company ID exist, totally free. Then we are searching that company data from LinkedIn. So this is what we're doing, another API call. So I'm just going to add it into our whiteboard. Okay. Edit fields, zero cost. Checking actor status, zero cost. Getting company details. So when we run this actor from here, we have to wait for some time and we are fetching the details from here. So these two costs are actually the same thing. So when we calculate this cost, it's exactly the same for this. So it's either way, we can either calculate cost for this or for this. One is fine. Then we are doing analysis for LinkedIn profiles using a Claude API. So we need to add that here. And this is Gemini. Then we have LinkedIn analysis. That comes for Anthropic. Okay, moving on, we have edit fields, we have duplicate search on DB, we have data insert on DB. So this is an action. We are inserting some data into our Airtable. So we're just going to copy this, add it right over here. Okay. That's part of the entire LinkedIn scraper. Now let's understand Apollo scraper. So Apollo is, of course, we're doing this Apollo search. So this comes part of this. All right. Moving on, we have checking active status, zero cost, getting the data, same as this node. So we have already calculated this, so we don't have to add this part. Then we run the loop one by one, checking the duplicate, zero cost, loop, zero cost. We have this AI agent to calculate the summary. So this is going to be Apollo summary, and this is again Anthropic. Then we have edit field, zero cost, adding to the lead. This is a cost. It's not actually a cost, but it is an action. So we're just gonna put it here. All right, perfect. And yeah, we're all set. Now what we've done is we have segmented this entire AI automation, this entire big chunk, into 4 different segments. I'm just gonna put it into the whiteboard, and this is the entire AI automation for us. We have segmented this entire AI automation into these 4 segments. So now our only job remaining is combining all these costs and calculating it for one simple lead. So I'm just going to clarify a few things. Manual trigger have no cost. Data insert on Airtable, no cost. Adding to a lead, no cost. Our only cost comes into all these segments. 1, 2, 3 API calls. 1, 2, 3 AI agents cost. And we just need to create a sum of all these things and we'll be done. That's the entire cost. So cost per execution is going to be, let's try to put it into a formula. Now, of course, for one execution, we may be doing multiple lead scrapers, right? So let's try to have a n number here and we can just calculate that. So it's going to be n multiplied by LinkedIn search request. Actually, let's do one thing. Let's put out a few variables here. Let's say n is equal to number of keywords, right? And m is equal to leads from Apollo. We are just going to do a few algebraic expressions and we should be able to calculate the cost. So now we have number of leads and number of leads from Apollo as well as number of keywords. Now using these two variables, we should be able to calculate the cost. So n multiplied by LinkedIn search plus, now this is going to be, since we're running loop n times. Now let's say that we are doing a number of keywords, so it's going to be LinkedIn search plus, when we go back, we have, this is going to be number, let's say x. So we get x number of companies from LinkedIn. So we are doing LinkedIn company and we scrape it, we do LinkedIn analysis, right? And that's the LinkedIn cost. LinkedIn analysis, that's it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we have plus n times Apollo search plus m times, we are going to m times Apollo analysis Anthropic, right? And we also have to do a Gemini cost here. I can just add it here, Gemini keyword cost, right? This is per execution. And we have not added our infrastructure cost, so I'm just going to add it here, plus N10 monthly charges. Now this is the formula that actually comes out for our lead generation automation. So we have LinkedIn company numbers, right? Let's try to give out a few parameters here. So actually we've added all these things here. So now let's try to gather cost for LinkedIn search, Apollo search, LinkedIn company search. These three are the parameter costs that we need to calculate because you already have cost of Anthropic, and this is for 1000 tokens, and the data we're going to assume is approximately 1000 tokens. It can be more, it can be less as well, but on average it's going to be around 1000 tokens. So we are just going to calculate on the basis of that. And let's also assume that we get three keywords. We get, let's say, 100 leads from Apollo, and then we get almost 10 companies. It's easy for us to calculate, and it's usually around these numbers, right? It can vary every single time, but you'll have to check what are the keywords, how much is it actually cost. But usually the number is going to be around these numbers, and we're going to calculate on the basis of these. Okay, so now the only variables remaining is these three parameters. We have to get the value of all these three. How we're going to do is we are going to go to Apify, and I'm just going to search for that Apify actor, which is linked right here. This, and this. Okay, so this gives $5,000, $5 per thousand results. Okay, so we just add it here. Sorry, this is profile post. So we are scraping a company's profile. Okay, so LinkedIn company search is $5 per 1000 results. Okay, then we have LinkedIn search that cost $10 per 1000 results. Then we have Apollo, and this actor has actually, not sure if it is already there. So this actor has been deprecated now. So we do have some alternatives, but it usually costs 30 $30 per 1000 results. So okay, let's just add it here. Apollo is $30 per 1000 results. Okay. I'm just gonna add these things and I'm gonna be back in a minute. Actually, don't add this. So this is the entire cost per execution after putting in all the variables that I've actually showed you. And what we've done is LinkedIn company search cost almost $5 per 1000 results. So for each result, it is $0.005. We are multiplying it by 10 because we are searching for 10 LinkedIn companies. LinkedIn search is $10 per 1000 results. So since we are doing 10 companies, it almost cost you $0.1. Then of course we have three keywords, so it's gonna be multiplied by three. It's gonna be running it three times. Then we have three times multiplied by $3 for 100 leads from Apollo, and 100 into 0.015, that is the anthropic cost for analysis. We add all these execution cost, and this will come out to be, so after adding all these costs, it comes out to be 0.9 plus 13.5, that is equal to $14.4. So this is cost per execution. Now, how many companies or how many leads are we getting from that? So we get 3 multiplied by, so we get 3 multiplied by 100 Apollo leads plus 10 companies, so 10 from LinkedIn, right? So this is almost 330. So we're getting basically 330 leads for $14.4. If I'm just gonna add it leads here, right? 330 leads for $14.4. So cost per lead actually comes out to be 14.4 divided by 330. That is equal to 0.43. So this is the cost per lead that you're getting by using this big AI automation. So 50 cents for each lead that you're getting from this automation. And yeah, you can just keep running it every single day and it will keep fetching you all these different leads just for 50 cents. And that's how easy it is to calculate cost of any AI automation using this entire logic. And right now we are not adding the n orchestration cost because we don't know how many times you're running this, and it can actually come out to be very less. So even if this n monthly charges approximately $5 if you go for any self-hosting services, it actually won't make any difference if you're running it multiple different times over here. So I'm just gonna give out a ballpark number of 50 cents. Now you can go over, and if you're able to hire someone that gives out lead in less than 50 cents per lead, of course you can go over that. That's not, don't add this. Now let's say 50 cents per lead you are spending using this AI automation. Now, if you're able to hire someone who, so this is 50 cents per lead using this AI automation that generates leads for you continuous. Now, if you're able to hire someone who does it way cheaper than this, only then it makes sense to go over and hire a real human being, teach him how to generate leads for your business, and then they will be able to generate leads continuously for you. But even then, they won't be able to generate leads in mass volume. So this 330 leads, if you actually calculate the time, it will usually take almost 3 to 5 minutes to get 330 leads. But if it is a real human being, it will take them much longer, as well as it will be more expensive for you to get each and every lead. So that's why this AI automation is way cheaper than a human being. And of course, this AI automation will give you more results, more consistent results than a human being. So if I'm a business owner, I will actually go for and choose this AI automation to fetch me thousands of leads every single day. And this automation actually comes with additional feature, that is you can actually do automatic follow-ups. So you can see we have LinkedIn follow-ups, we have email follow-ups, and these actually include sending them a connection request, sending them a DM. You can see we are sending them a connection request, we are sending them LinkedIn follow-ups, we are sending them a LinkedIn message in that follow-up. So we can send them multiple follow-ups, like 3 or 4 follow-ups. It will send them LinkedIn DMs, and it will also wait for the reply. So it is checking, has the user really replied to us or not. If they have, it will not send them any follow-ups anymore. And similar actually goes on for emails as well. So we can do email follow-ups for all the leads that this automation gets. Now I'm just gonna walk you through it very quickly. You can see we are adding all the emails that we want to send into our DB, that is Airtable. We are sending all these emails, and we are also checking, has that user really replied to us or not. If they have, then we are going to stop that follow because it doesn't really make sense. That's how smart that's how smart this entire AI system really is. It can generate leads for you, it can send them follow-ups, it can actually connect with them on LinkedIn as well as on email. So that's really great. Perfect. So that's how you can calculate cost of any AI automation using this entire system. And of course, if you're generating leads, it will cost you less than 50 cents per lead to really get that entire database and that AI summary in your TV. I hope this video really made sense to you. And if this video really provided you any value, make sure that you click on the like button as well as the subscribe button. I make videos every single week, so you will be able to learn a lot about how AI automation really work, how you can use different AI automations for your businesses just by following my channel. So make sure that you click on the subscribe button as well as the notification icon so you never miss out on a video. All right, I'll see you in the next one.